Do you know that feeling, that gut clench right before you walk into a really tough meeting? That one moment you take a deep breath, your face goes blank, and you subconsciously pull on your professional armor just to survive the next hour? Maybe for you, it feels like a thick, heavy sweater, or maybe it's a full suit of medieval armor. It's that invisible shield you put up to deal with the person on the other side of the table. You know the one who twists your words, looks for an angle in every sentence, and makes you feel like you have to defend your own existence. But what if I told you that the very thing you think is protecting you is actually tanking your career? What if that armor, that carefully built professional mask, comes with a hidden tax so high it's quietly draining your ability to lead? This isn't just about getting through one hard hour. It's about the massive price you pay for not showing up as yourself. And believe me, that price is way higher than you think. Let's be brutally honest about what this armor really is. It isn't just professionalism, it's you actively and regularly suppressing your own identity. You're consciously sidelining the authentic, instinct driven, sharp version of yourself, the one your team loves, to present a safer you, a version that won't give that difficult person anything they can use against you. This isn't happening to you. It's an active, exhausting mental process. It's a calculation. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that one email you have to write. You type out the first draft, the real one. It's clear, direct, and has a bit of an edge. It says what needs to be said, and then you stop. You read it over, and you know exactly how they're going to twist that one critical sentence. You can already hear them using it against you in a meeting 3 weeks from now. So you delete it, you soften it, you sand down the sharp edges until the powerful original point is buried under a pile of corporate fluff. You just paid the tax. It's that half-second pause before you speak up in a meeting. In that split second, your brain runs a lightning fast risk assessment. Sharp version or safe version? Do I say what I really think, or do I say the thing that can't possibly be misinterpreted? 9 times out of 10, you choose the safe. And when the comment lands with a thud, when it doesn't spark action or solve the problem, a little part of you just deflates. It's another small cut. Another piece of proof that you can't be yourself and get the real work done. This is the hidden, exhausting work of leadership that nobody ever talks about. Every time you choose the safe version, you pay a little fee. It's a tax on your leadership that compounds over time. First, your reputation takes a hit. You are hired for your sharp mind, your clarity, and your knack for cutting through the noise. What everyone else sees is hesitant, less confident, less clear version of you. Then one day, you realize the conversations about that next promotion or that big, exciting project have stopped. Your name isn't on the list for the roles that demand bold, decisive leadership because you've been forced to hide the very qualities that make you a great leader. Next, you lose your own psychological safety, not the company's, yours. The freedom to take smart risks, to be creative, and even be wrong sometimes, is now permanently tied up in managing a difficult person instead of doing the job you were hired for. Think of it like an invisible spreadsheet running in the background of your mind 24/7. In it, you're tracking every interaction, every little jab, every carefully worded email. This spreadsheet never shows up on a P&L sheet, but it has a very real cost. It's why you feel like your thinking gets fuzzy at 3 p.m. It's why you feel that deep bone tired exhaustion at the end of the day. It's why you're less present with your family at home. That armor you wear to work is heavy, and you don't just take it off when you clock out. You carry that weight everywhere. I once worked with a leader, let's call him Alex. He was a brilliant strategist, but he had a peer, a VP, who was a master of political games. Before any meeting with this VP, Alex would armor up, rehearsing his talking points until they were stripped of any vulnerability. During a critical budget meeting, Alex spotted a massive flaw in the VP's plan, a flaw that would cost the company millions. But pointing it out directly would have meant being sharp, maybe even confrontational. It would have exposed him. So he ran the calculation. He chose the safe version, wrapping his concern in vague language that the VP just brushed aside. 6 months later, the project failed, costing millions, just as Alex knew it would. The cost of his armor wasn't just personal, it was organizational. He didn't just hide his identity, he hid the truth. Here's the thing about that armor. It's not unbreakable. It's meant to protect you, but it also isolates you. And eventually, under all that pressure, it cracks. And the fallout from that crack is often way worse than the battle you were trying to avoid in the first place. When the armor cracks, you're left with what psychologists call emotional residue. It's that sticky, awful feeling that follows you home from a toxic interaction. It follows you into your evening and wakes you up at 3 a.m. It's your nervous system totally fried. You find yourself sitting in your car in the parking garage, replaying a meeting on loop, picking apart every word, wondering what you could have done differently. You feel this desperate urge to go for a 5-mile run or hit a punching bag, anything to burn off the agitated energy. And here's the most painful part. You don't tell anyone. How could you? As you move up in leadership, the safe places to be unsure, to be human, or to be vulnerable just seem to vanish. This is the profound loneliness of leadership nobody ever warns you about. You feel this intense, isolating guilt, thinking that your inability to handle this one person is some kind of personal failure, a weakness you have as a leader. You're supposed to be tough, right? You're supposed to manage up and stay professional. So you suffer in silence, convinced you're the only one paying this crazy hidden tax. But you're not. You are one of millions of leaders being slowly worn down by the very armor they thought was keeping them safe. So, what are we supposed to do? Just accept this tax as the cost of having a career? Keep letting our best work and our best selves be held hostage by one or two difficult persons? No. The answer isn't to build stronger armor. The answer is to figure out how to take it off. This isn't about being soft or oversharing. True leadership has shifted away from that fake tough persona and towards real resilience. And resilience isn't about stuffing your emotions down. It's about being emotionally honest. It's about being clear and grounded enough to handle reality head on. To do that, you need a game plan. I call it the 2-strike rule, and it's a practical way to set boundaries when your armor cracks. Strike 1. You have a difficult interaction. They twist your words. They undermine you. They make it personal. You give them a pass. Once. You address the behavior cleanly and directly, assuming they had good intentions, even if you secretly doubt it. You say something like, when you said X, it landed for me as Y. I'm sure that wasn't what you meant, so I just wanted to clear the air. You give them one chance to get it right. You're doing this out of professionalism, not weakness. Strike 2. It happens again. Same pattern, same behavior. They have shown you who they are. Now they are out. You are out. This doesn't mean you cause a scene. It means you strategically and calmly close the door. Access to you is gone. They're off the list for informal updates. Meetings become purely about business. Your energy and your authentic self are no longer available for them to mess with. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But this person has power over me. They control my budget, my performance review, my career. The cost of closing that door feels terrifyingly high. But this is the final, most sneaky part of the calculation. We always overestimate the cost of closing the door and dramatically underestimate the real cost of keeping it open. We miscalculate the tax. That armor isn't free. It's costing you your best ideas, your influence, your reputation, and ultimately the very career you're trying so hard to protect. Look, this isn't a quick fix. It's a fundamental shift in how you show up as a leader. It's about going from being an armored leader to what I call a SoulFIRE leader. I spent years breaking down this process, and if what I've described today, that calculation, that hidden tax, that 3 a.m. meeting replay, if that felt like I was reading a page from your secret diary, then I want to help you figure out what's next. I'm making the first 2 chapters of my book, SoulFIRE Leadership, available for free. The book gets into the nitty-gritty of this hidden tax and gives you the exact framework for building the real resilience we talked about. The link is in the description. If this is the kind of leadership conversation you've been looking for, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's next. It also really helps get this message out to more people who need to hear it. And in the comments, I'd love to know one thing. Without naming any names, what does your armor feel like? Is it a heavy sweater? A brick wall? A suit of ice? Let's finally start talking about this out in the open. For years, we've been told that leadership requires a certain toughness, a kind of professional distance. But we've mixed up being professional with being armored. The goal isn't to be untouchable. The goal is to be whole. The most powerful strategic thing you can do as a leader is to finally, honestly calculate the cost of your armor, and then decide if you're still willing to pay it. The real question isn't how you're going to survive that next difficult meeting. It's who are you going to become as a leader once you decide to take the armor off for good.